But it's a class action lawsuit against all machines.
It's like, oh, Abel's your guy, eh, God? How about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things.
It's not that they don't want to help. They don't know quite what to do. Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words. That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low resolution thinking.
It's like, oh, Abel's your guy, eh, God? How about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things.
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles.
After his alleged meeting with the Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese. A real beautiful company. Antifa exists.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree. Do not come. Do not come.
They're coming all over the place. Bad deal. Should have never been thought of.
It's like, oh, Abel's your guy, eh, God? How about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of your favorite show in the whole wide goddamn. And so I've got this like weird thing going on with my hair. Okay. And so I'm here. And welcome to the program. I'm here. Woo! All right. So I got a show here lined up. I lined it up, and so I decided I'm gonna line it up. I've got a show going on. Okay, let me move that right there. All right, so there's a program going on. There's a live stream currently happening. It's as of this moment in time, 10:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I don't know which one we're in. We're in one of them, but Eastern Time. We're on the Eastern Time. I am not drinking a seltzer. I am drinking a zero sugar Dr. K. So, whoa. Whoa. Hopefully Mila's not here. But anyway, there's a show going on. There's a program going on, and it's actually happening right now, actually. So hello everyone, welcome to the show. Hopefully people are happy. What is Dr. K? It's store brand Dr. Pepper. And so hopefully people are satisfied with the show so far. I know it's only like 30 seconds in, but I'm worked really hard in those 30 seconds. Really hard on the first 30 seconds of the program, and the rest I'm kind of just winging it. I practiced the first 30 seconds and now it's all, I'm losing it. All right, so, or should we start? Let's start with this. So, AOC, at it again, AOC, let me say that one more time. AOC, all right, Ocasio-Cortez to Clarence Thomas, resign or face impeachment. Now, this is in response to the latest the latest stuff coming out of the Guinea, camp. Guinea, of course, not to be confused with the name of a horse, but this is actually a human being. Guinea Thomas is the spouse of Clarence Thomas, who's the Supreme Court Justice. Guinea Thomas, not to be confused with the horse. Guinea is a real person, and she's a psycho. She's crazy. She's Looney Tunes. She's a Q Trumper moron, and she was basically texting Mark Meadows, the chief of staff. Mark got a text and was like, wait a second, is this from the horse or is this from Guinea? And so, again, I don't know what's going on with Clarence Thomas. I know that guy was like MIA for a while. He might still be MIA. I'm not sure. But anyway, she being Guinea, not to be confused with the horse, was talking about how, she was trying to leverage the fact that her spouse is on the Supreme Court as a way to overturn the election. Whoops. Now you think, oh, Clarence doesn't know any of this, right? Ha ha ha. Well, I hope he does. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if Guinea's going around talking about things based off of his goodwill, I'm going to go out on a limb and probably say he's a little bit informed on what's happening here. So, Rep. AOC D. Nye on Tuesday called on Justice Clarence Thomas to resign or face impeachment for what she depicted as a pattern of ethical breaches. Clarence Thomas should resign, she wrote on Twitter. Let's just read the tweet. If not, his failure to disclose income from right-wing organizations, recuse himself from matters involving his wife, and his vote to block the Jan 6th Commission from key information must be investigated and could serve as grounds for impeachment. I say impeach the motherfucker, impeach Brett Kavanaugh, impeach Amy Coney Barrett, impeach, the other motherfuckers, Roberts, Alito, impeach those motherfuckers, get rid of them. Throw them out into the trash, into the garbage can. Ocasio-Cortez is just the latest in the series of Democratic lawmakers and legal experts to intensify ethical scrutiny of Thomas in the wake of explosive reports last week that exposed his wife's aggressive efforts to help overturn former President Trump's electoral defeat. Once again, reminder, Donald Trump lost the election in 2020. And that's kind of what happened here. So he lost, and then a bunch of people are like, blah, 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 my name is Guinea. But that didn't change the fact that he lost. Joe Biden won the 2020 election. Those revelations raised fresh questions about the justice's refusal to step aside from related cases before the Supreme Court, including at least 10 rulings concerning the 2020 presidential election without any indication of him recusing. The ruling that has drawn the sharpest criticism came in January, when Thomas was the only justice who dissented in an 8-1 ruling that cleared the way for House investigators probing the Jan 6 21 insurrection to obtain Trump-era White House records. Isn't that interesting? So again, Clarence Thomas, spouse of Guinea, not to be confused with the horse, was the only person to say, I don't think we should have a committee about this. Yeah, so this guy needs to go. Now, obviously, nothing's going to happen. He's going to stay on the Supreme Court till he dies, which, you know, am I right? But, of course, there's never any accountability. Donald Trump will never go to jail. None of these people will ever go to jail. Clarence Thomas will never go to jail. Guinea will never go to jail. Mark Meadows will never go to jail. Mike Pence will never go to jail. Bill Barr will never go to jail. Again, all of these motherfuckers, Steve Mnuchin will never go to jail. Betsy DeVos will never go to jail. You know, Ben Carson will never go to jail. I need you to understand, none of these motherfuckers, Brett Kavanaugh, will never go to jail. They will never go to jail. They will always be the winners. They will always be rich. They will always be taken care of because our society is designed that way. There is no such thing as rule of law for the rich. They can get out of anything and everything because, again, the government was designed in their favor. They have all the get out of jail free cards. They got all the loopholes. They got everything. They got fucking everything. Right, so I need you to understand, yes, should he resign? Yes. Should he be impeached? Yes. Are Democrats going to do that? Of course not. They're weak and feckless bastards. Is Joe Biden going to say that he should, that Clarence Thomas should be impeached? Nope, because Joe Biden's a feckless bastard. Again, these motherfuckers don't care about, holding people accountable. Trump should be in jail right now, but he's not. All of these people should be in jail right now, but they're not. I want to let everyone know, again, this is not going to happen. They're not going to get impeached. They're not going to resign. They're not going to recuse themselves. None of that stuff is going to happen. They are openly corrupt. They wear it on their sleeve, and that's about it. So, but again, AOC leading the calls to impeach this motherfucker, and I agree with that. So get rid of this motherfucker. At least do everything you can to do so. Let Nancy Pelosi be the one who stepped in front of the calls to impeach Clarence Thomas. Let Nancy Pelosi say, no, I love Clarence. He's a really good guy. Like, let her say that. Keep pushing until that happens. But anyway, there you go. Guinea. I still can't get over the Guinea thing. Imagine, her name is Guinea. Who? And, it's not like her parents named her Guinea. That's her, that's her self-appointed nickname. I'm Guinea. Guinea. Imagine, oh, your name's Virginia. Again, the first, person ever born, first white person ever born in the Americas, Virginia. It's an old school name. It's the oldest of the old school names. It's literally the first, So again, then you ruin it all and say, you know what? Fuck Virginia. I'm going to call myself Guinea. I can't get over it. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. But all I do know is that no one will be held accountable because this is America and that doesn't happen here. So, but anyway, it should happen. Her name is an Italian slur. Oh no. Ilhan Omar was actually the first. I don't know if I said AOC was the first. I just said she's leading the charge. But that's good on Ilhan. Yeah, I think most people are in that realm of things are on the same side. But of course, AOC gets the most clicks, so, that's the system I'm participating in. That's why whenever I do a segment that has AOC involved, I have to say AOC 30 times for the SEO. Anyway. So, we were talking about Guinea, Guinea and Clarence, the Supreme Court, QAnon couple. But, let's move on to some other things in relation to January 6th. And here we have a very interesting, news story here. This is from The Post. Democracy dies in darkness. January 6th, White House logs given to the House show 7-hour gap in Trump calls. 7 hours. That's a long time. 7 hours? The House Select Committee is now investigating whether it has the full record and whether Trump communicated that day through back channels, phones of aides, or personal disposable phones, according to people familiar with the probe. I want to remind everyone the big thing going around here is comparing this to Nixon. Of course, the Watergate gap in records was 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Reminder, Richard Nixon was facing impeachment. He thought he was going to lose from his own party, so he resigned because of an 18-minute gap. So I just want to say, again, in the same instance as Guinea and Clarence, they will never be held accountable. They will never go to jail. Donald Trump will never be held accountable. He will never go to jail. This is an endless news cycle. This is a loop. Right? Oh, Donald Trump broke the law. Oh, let's hold him accountable. And then, a couple months later, so we've determined that he did, in fact, break the law, but we're all too chicken shit to do anything about it. Again, with the DA and fucking the Manhattan District Attorney, whatever it was. It's yes, we've determined that he committed multiple felonies, and that's really bad, but we're actually kind of afraid to actually prosecute him because what if he says mean things about us in the press, and then so we're just going to let him get away. Yes, he committed 19,459 felonies, but, that's not really a big deal because he's Orange Man, and, he's never going to be held accountable. He's never going to go to jail. I need people to understand that will never happen. And if it does happen, that's great. That's what I want to happen. But I'm just again, this is the 15,000th fucking time. Oh, whoa, Donald Trump broke the law. He's done for now. Remember the Mueller report? Yeah, Mueller was yes, we've determined that there's multiple links and, maybe you could prosecute, but, also, by the way, we just sent his lawyer to jail because, but also, and not going to do anything. Oh, we've determined that, again, he will never go to jail. He's committed, every, felony in the book. You look at the book, he should be writing new felonies to commit because that's how many, but he's never going to be held accountable. Why? Because this country was built for Donald Trump. This country was made for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is America. He is the American man. He is the American dream incarnate. He will always get away with everything all the time because this is what the country was founded on. It was founded on corruption. It was founded on fascism, and that's what it will always be until this country dies. Internal White House records from the day of the attack on the U.S. Capitol that were turned over to the House Select Committee show a gap in President Donald Trump's phone logs of 7 hours and 37 minutes. You'd think you'd throw a couple things in there just to, throw a couple phone calls, just to your kids or whatever. Hey, how's school? Just to make it look less obvious. But nah, they don't care. They will cheat and they will tell everyone, by the way, we're cheating, just so we know. By the way, we're cheating. And then when they lose, because they couldn't cheat hard enough, they just pretend that they won. Again, Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Joe Biden is the winner. But again, so they're sore losers, and they just say, yep, we cheat all the time. You're not going to do anything about it. And then, again, when they lose, they just pretend that they won. Again, these motherfuckers, and they will never be held accountable. Again, none of these motherfuckers will ever go to jail. They're going to send their peons to jail because they're not rich. They can't afford to get out of jail. These motherfuckers will never be held accountable. The lack of an official White House notation of any calls placed to or by Trump for 457 minutes on January 6, 2021, from 11:17 a.m. to 6:54 p.m., means the committee has no record of his phone conversations as the supporters descended on the Capitol, battled overwhelmed police, and forcibly entered the building, prompting lawmakers and Vice President Mike Pence to flee for safety. The 11 pages of records, which consist of President Trump's official daily diary and the White House switchboard call logs, were turned over by the National Archives earlier this year. I love the National Archives, by the way. The records show that Trump was active on the phone for part of the day, documenting conversations that he had with at least 8 people in the morning and 11 people that evening. The 7-hour gap also stands in stark contrast to the extensive public reporting about phone conversations he had with allies during the attack, such as a call Trump made to Senator Mike Lee, seeking to talk to Senator Tommy Tuberville, and a phone conversation he had with House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. So again, this is the thing. It's not like, oh, maybe he was taking a nap. Again, other people, right? Other people have determined, like, I've reported that, yeah, we were on the phone, right? So it's obvious he was on the phone. There's no record of him being on the phone, which means who knows what phone he was on. All I'm saying is we got to hold the fucking phone. That's what I'm saying. Also, I think we should hold him accountable for that matter as well. The House panel is now investigating, blah, blah, blah. Again, he will never be held accountable. None of the rich people in this country will never be held accountable. They will never, ever, 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 ever pay any consequences for anything that they've ever done, ever, because that's not how this country works. But again, just, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't investigate. We should investigate. We should call to impeach. We should call to do everything. Impeach this guy 15 more times. I don't give a shit. Impeach George Bush while you're at it. Let's fucking, we got a lot of work to do, right? So that's my opinion. But again, it's important to document the crimes, but it's also important to manage expectations. Again, he can commit 7,000 felonies. He can murder as many people as he wants. He can kill kids. He can shoot someone on Fifth Avenue, and he will never go to jail. He will never face any consequences. He will always throw someone else under the bus because that's just how this country is designed. It was designed for someone like Donald Trump to wreak havoc on us from the get-go, from the jump. And there you go. That's the segment. Also, Guinea. I still can't get over the Guinea Thomas, wife of Clarence Thomas. I can't get over Guinea. What kind of fucking name is Guinea? I don't know. But anyway, she's also never going to be held accountable. Woo! How's everyone doing? Hopefully people are having a good time today. All right. Uncle Thomas strikes again. Goddamn Thomas. Goddamn Thomas. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying the program. I think so far this is a decent program. Could be better. Did Trump joke about running as president for life in when he did that fucking what was that, like a magazine cover where it was like Trump 2028, Trump 2032. I mean, I think it's one of those ha 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 JK unless ... question mark moments. Okay. There's a lot going on in the world right now. Whoa. Whoa. So let's talk about... So we got Joseph Robinette Biden 2, the winner of the 2020 presidential election. Again, just a reminder, Donald Trump lost that election. So Joe Biden won, and that's why he is the president right now, because he won. And he was talking the other day about how You know, I think the quote was, "For God's sake, this man can't remain in power," in regards to Vlad Putiput, a.k.a., Putin, a.k.a. Putiput, in, the current Russian dictator. And so Joe Biden, my personal opinion on that was that I think it's inappropriate for the president to, again, because the president of the United States represents the country, represents the U.S. military, more importantly, represents NATO in a lot of ways. I think it's inappropriate for the president to say something like that at this time, unless it's going to be followed by policy. I just think, if NATO involvement is going to happen, if the U.S. is going to get involved, and if that's what he's trying to do, then it makes sense. But if he's trying to not escalate, if he's trying to de-escalate, if he's trying to stay neutral, or not neutral, but like stay out of it, it's not the best thing to say. That said, I agree. Vladimir Putin, if he died tomorrow, if he died right now, I think the world would be a better place. Now, again, it's possible someone in second in command or whatever, there would be like a fight for the leadership, and then the person that takes the fucking throne of the empire is even more crazy. Yes, that's possible. That's a concern, and that's something that we can all agree is something that we, which is why probably, again, I don't know. I don't know the line of succession or whatever it is. All I'm saying is, Putin, if he were to disappear tomorrow, the world would probably be a better place. Probably. But again, I'm not an expert. But also people, there's a backlash going on against this, mostly propped up by the right. So again, I'm gonna weigh in on that. But that's where we are now. This is him responding to questions when asked about these comments. So,
do you believe what you said, that Putin can't remain in power? Or do you now regret saying that because your government has been trying to walk that back? Did your words complicate matters?
Well, you asked 3 different questions. I'll answer them all. Number one, I'm not walking anything back. The fact of the matter is I was expressing the more outrage I felt toward the way Putin is dealing and the actions of this man. Just brutality. Have to.
So I understand, right? I understand. I get it. Putin's bad. I understand. But it's hard for me to accept someone like the President of the United States. It's hard to take them seriously when they talk about Putin like this. Because, again, think about what Joe Biden has been doing since he became president. He campaigned on decriminalizing marijuana, and yet still thousands of people are going into steel cages, presumably for the rest of their life. They're losing valuable time out of their lives. They're going to steel boxes, being enslaved by the state because they had a blunt on them, right? Again, he campaigned on fixing that. He chose not to. Dare I say, the Title 42 bullshit at the border, turning back refugees, continuing the concentration camp policies of ICE, right? So again, the drone strike in Afghanistan, after they pulled out of Afghanistan, so-called, they did a drone strike, ended up killing 7 kids. Some guy went on TV, some military general said, whoops, my bad, but no one's going to be held to account. This is just a mistake. Mistakes happen. What? 7 kids are dead. Right? Again, still aiding and abetting the genocide in Yemen with the military alliance with Saudi Arabia. Like, again, it's hard to take the President of the United States seriously when they weigh in on matters of morality. That said, in this narrow, without the hypocrisy, without all that, we understand that. In this narrow point, yes, I agree. Vladimir Putin is bad. Now, again, I think if Joe Biden wants to escalate, if he wants to do something about this, then this is good rhetoric if that's the goal. If the goal is not to do so, I don't think this is helpful rhetoric. But, again, that depends on your perspective. A lot of people think that we are already in World War III. It's hard to tell. I live in the United States of America. If I lived in Ukraine, if I lived in Poland or Belarus or Russia, I might be under the impression that World War III is already happening and it's just a matter of time before more countries or NATO gets involved. But again, I live in America. I have the privilege of not having to experience this war, firsthand. So, I understand all the perspectives going on here. It's hard to say which one is the best perspective. That being said, again, the president does have the responsibility. I agree. I can say on my show, Putin should probably, jerk himself off with a fucking rope around his neck, right? Hey, I'm allowed to say that. I have a show, right? I'm not the president, right? But the president saying something like that, again, it puts us in this awkward position. Now, that being said, the right-wing outrage, the right-wing, like Lindsey Graham was going on television saying we need to go kill Putin or whatever. So the right-wing trying to say that Biden's, they have been pushing Biden in this direction since this whole thing started, right? So it's like the right-wing basically saying, whoa, Biden, what are you doing, bro? Like, after they've been pushing him there this whole time, I don't know, man.
Children in Ukraine. I just come from being with those families. And so, but I want to make it clear, I wasn't then, nor am I now, articulating a policy change. I was expressing the moral outrage that I feel, and I make no apologies for it.
Personal feelings, sir. Your personal feelings?
My personal feelings. To do is engage in the last thing I want to do is engage in a land war or a nuclear war with Russia. That's not part of it. I was expressing my outrage at the behavior of this man. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. And it's more an aspiration than anything. He shouldn't be in power. People like this shouldn't be ruling countries, but they do. The fact they do, but doesn't mean I can't express my outrage about it.
So again, I don't know. I think I've made my points clear. Now, again, if the perspective is America is going to be going to war eventually, maybe, right? Like if you think America and Russia are going to be fighting in this battle at some point, some people have the idea, do it sooner than later, get the conflict over as soon as possible. That way you minimize potential. I understand, right? There's a lot of angles here. I just want to say, I do think that the president trying to speak about foreign policy on a personal level versus from the U.S. policy, I think that, again, the role of the president is to speak on behalf of the country. If we're talking about domestic policy or domestic agenda, I think it's more reasonable, or if not completely reasonable, for him to say what he wants on a personal level, separate from a political level, a policy level. But when it comes to foreign policy, especially in a situation like this, I do think he shouldn't be speaking out of turn on the policy angle. Now, again, unless this is part of a strategy, then I guess it makes sense. My position, really, I don't have a preference. I don't know. I'm not, again, I can't tell you that America shouldn't get involved. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to go on. I can't tell you the future. I'm not an expert in any capacity. Right? All I can tell you is I think the idea of war is stupid. The idea that any military will listen to just one person who's in their 70s or 80s and who barely has any hair left. I don't know, that's weird. The idea that, one guy can say, I feel like just destroying a whole country, and then hundreds of thousands of military members are just willing to go do that, whether that is the guy in charge of Russia or the guy in charge of the United States of America. The idea that people are willing to just go murder civilians, murder children just for fun and games just because the big man, strong guy leader told them to, I think is ridiculous. The human impulse to kill one another because some old dude told them to. Wow, that's fucking crazy. But again, this is a very complicated issue, but we have to understand that the right wing has no value here. The right wing has been pushing Joe Biden to go to war in the worst way possible, right? The right wing wants to send out fucking what is it, the SEAL team or whatever, these motherfuckers are crazy. I wouldn't trust a right-wing psychopath in with the keys here either, because again, let's assume war is inevitable and we're going to have to get involved. We being the United States. I wouldn't trust someone like Lindsey Graham in the driver's seat. Honestly, I wouldn't trust Joe Biden, but I would trust Joe Biden before I would trust someone like Donald Trump. I'm just saying. But again, I can't tell you a solution. I don't know a solution. I know war is bad, but I also know the world does not revolve around what my opinions on war are. If the world did revolve around those opinions, there wouldn't be. This world would not exist as it is right now. So my ideal scenario where there's no such thing as war, I want to strive for that outcome. But as of this moment in time, I don't know how realistic that's going to be. I don't know. And it's scary. And it's nerve-wracking, and I think people are right to be, nervous or afraid about what's going on on the world stage. That being said, again, the president speaks on behalf of the country, especially when it comes to foreign policy. And so I think my opinion is that the president and the foreign policy, like, you know, like what the foreign policy agenda is, I think that they should be in lockstep. That's my only opinion. Right. Now, again, if the United States government is trying to make an escalatory, or like maybe like, again, I wouldn't even say that that's escalatory. I would say that that's just like acknowledging, you know, the reality of things, and that, you know, I don't know. It's complicated. All I know is that right-wingers have no basis here to talk about this. They've made a fool of themselves over the last month and a half. And so I think we should just ignore them. I personally do. But again, stuff's happening. I don't know. It's a very messy scenario. I can't tell you what the right answer is. I don't know the right answer. I don't think anyone knows the right answer. Personally, I think people that are trying to sell you on a right answer here, I think that they're kind of full of it. I'm going to be honest. I think the same people that were trying to sell you on, oh, Russia's not going to invade Ukraine like a year or a month ago. Russia's not going to invade Ukraine. Like, I don't know why people feel the need to have like some weird predictive take on everything. On elections, it's one thing. It's just a game, right? But like, I don't know, like, I can't tell. I'm not an expert. 99% of podcasters you're listening to aren't experts on this scenario. I can't tell you what the most likely thing that's going to happen is. I can't, and so I'm not going to pretend to do so. I'm not going to pretend to be smarter than I am. But what I will pretend to do is put on a good show. So I'm going to try my best for that. Yeah, there you go. So reel on. My question: did you text your mother and sister about beans? I think that this is what we are all really wondering right now. I think everyone in the chat is very curious. Did you or did you not? Did you take the coward's way out? The, dare I say, hold up.
I would say, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You know, you're a beta male.
Beta. Let's see, reel on. Where are those texts? Hashtag release the texts. Beans are life, high protein. Yep, that's what I'm saying, Maria. There we go. Beans give me gas, but in a good way. Like, I don't know, like, this idea that, like, I'm going to get into, you know, in fact, you know, I'm going to make this a segment because I have a lot to say. So, okay. Let's talk about anti-fart hysteria. All right, that's right. We're branching off. We're getting into a cultural critique. We're going to be talking about anti-fart hysteria in, like, American culture. I live in America. I'm not sure about globally. I can't tell you about that. But, you know, again, anti-fart culture, not so good. Not so good. Let's be what is the let's actually, what is a fart? Like, what does a fart signify? A fart signifies typically that you've got a healthy gut biome. That's right. You know, again, what are farts? That is the bacteria, right? In your gut, basically, they're digesting all the stuff. They're healthy, you know, and that's their waste product. You know, they're giving off the gasoline, and then it just pumps right out of the system. You know, again, I read this study a while ago that, like, the average American farts, like, 6 times a day or something. Like, the idea that someone could only fart 6 times a day to me is now, hey, I'm not going to tell you how many times I fart per day. I don't think that that's important. All I know, 6. That's very low. That's very low. Okay? That's very low. But again, what is anti-fart, like, what is this? Like, oh, they stink. Well, a lot of things stink. I don't know, like, and it's like, it lasts like 20 seconds and then it's gone. Like, it's done. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, farts are a sign that you're healthy. like if you eat fiber, a lot of fiber, you fart a lot. You know, people, oh, I eat beans and then I fart, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because beans are high in fiber. They feed your gut biome. The bacteria in your gut are producing the gas, and then that's what causes farts. It's that simple. You know, I'm just saying, farts are healthy. You know, people holding in farts. Why are you going to hold in your fart, bro? That's like fucking yourself up. That's causing damage, right? That's going to cause damage to your body. You know, again, I'm just saying, like, are farts, like, is it the best thing in the world to, like, you know, like, let out a stinky fart and then everyone looks at you? It's embarrassing, right? But I say, everyone does it, right? Everyone's going to do it. I don't know. I think it's no big deal. I personally... I think it's no big deal. If someone farts around me, I don't care. Sometimes it's even funny. Farts can be funny. Like, I don't know why farts are a bad thing. Why are people embarrassed to fart? Farts are a sign that you're healthy. They can be funny. They can bring joy and laughter to the world around you. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying. Right? This anti-fart culture that we live in, I think is a little bit silly. I think it's a little bit ridiculous. I think a lot of people are stuck up. And I think, again, I want to remind everyone, let's talk about this. 95% of Americans, 95%, you might be thinking, 95%, that's almost every single one. They don't eat enough fiber. They don't reach the daily recommended minimum of fiber. So the dietary guidelines or whatever, they've got a range, a minimum amount, and then like, you know, a preferred amount and that kind of stuff. 95% of Americans do not hit the minimum, meaning they do not reach the bottom end of the acceptable range of fiber. It's not 95% don't hit the preferred range or don't hit the high preferred range. They don't even get on the range. It's like if you're playing darts and like you throw the dart through the window that's like, but not the window right next to the dartboard, but like 2 windows from the dartboard. Like you suck. Like you're fucking awful at throwing darts, bro. Right? So again, like that, it's that bad. Like most Americans. Why? And I think that plays into the anti-fart culture that we got going on. Right? When people, oh, I'm afraid of eating beans because they make me fart, you know. I've heard people say that, and that's like, what, do you have a low IQ? Do you have like some sort of disorder? Do you have like some sort of, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, typically, that's the kind of comment I would hear from, you know.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, these are some real dumb fuck motherfuckers. You know, I don't know, man. We're humans. We're beings. We're beings. Like, we are alive. We're not robots. We're not fucking, like, Sims, you know. Human beings have biological functions. It's that simple. You know, you burp, you fart. It's called welcome to being human. I don't know. This idea that people are trying to, you know, cover that up or, like, pretend it's not real, I think is a little ridiculous. I think it plays into the fact that 95% of Americans don't eat any fiber. I don't know. Anyway, anti-fart hysteria, debunked! Why is the stream not on Twitch? I don't multi-stream because it's too much work. I read analyzing ancient human poop, our ancestors probably ate 90 g of fiber per day, which is a shockingly high amount. I personally try to aim for 50 grams a day. That's my preference. I would say on a minimum, I try to hit like 25 a day, like absolute minimum. But like typically I'll have about 50 a day. I read a study that said that like early humans ate anywhere between like, you know, 90 to like, you know, 300 grams of fiber per day. Because we have to understand like what is fiber? Fiber is like, you know, that's like, you know, non-digestible, basically, material. So early humans, they didn't have enriched white bread. You know, they had to eat the raw ingredients, and maybe only a little bit of that was going to be digestible nutritionally, like protein and stuff. So they had a lot of fiber. And also, understand, early humans didn't have the concept of bathrooms. Like, oh, I got to wait to use the bathroom. They didn't revolve their lives around where they... You know, so like early humans would shit like maybe 10, 15, 20 times a day. And it's like, whatever. You just, you know, you're walking around, you take a shit, you keep walking. It's that simple. You know what I mean? So, yeah, early humans, they ate a lot of fiber. So, I'm trying to get on that level. When you eat some raw fucking sugar cane straight out the ground. We could still do that, just use diapers. I mean, maybe. I hope. Anyway, now that we've discussed farting. Now this is again, like, is there any other stream that anyone would possibly watch where you get these high level ideas, right? These are like, I mean, oh my God, like you don't get this shit on TV. Like, you know, TV is devoid of anything. It's vapid garbage. Do you get this shit at any of those like high subscriber fucking YouTube streamers? You know, those like podcasters that, oh, look, I've got, you know, those Twitch people that stream for 9 hours a day. What's with these like weirdo Twitch politics, quote unquote, streamers that stream 9 hours a day, but they never actually talk about anything interesting, right? All they do is they talk about someone else, talking about something else, talking about someone else, watching 4-hour debate recap videos that turn into, like, how the fuck do you stream for 15 fucking hours and you're a politics streamer and you don't talk about fucking farts? I don't know. You ever hear this anywhere else? You don't. Why? Because I'm the smartest in the fucking class. I'm the motherfucking genius of this. I'm like A rank, S tier in this whole category of people that like do things that other people watch. S tier. That's about it. Everyone else is trying to catch up. Like these motherfuckers, like, I mean, I literally cannot imagine doing like a 27-hour stream and you don't talk about like, you know, the universe and like gut biomes. Why? This goes back into the 95%. If 95% of Americans don't get enough fiber, it stands to reason that 95% of, you know, so-called left-wing YouTubers don't get enough fiber. They don't know anything about farts. They don't know about beans. They don't know about fiber. Why? Because they're all dum-dums. I'm just saying. Smartest in the world. That's me. That's over here. That's over here. That's you're here. I mean, you made it. I don't know what to tell you. Somehow you managed to, like, you know, get through all the tricks and traps and you've made it to the best stream on earth. I've seen older people poop down their legs in stores before. That's gonna be me. As soon as I get gray hair, like and I've already got a couple gray hairs. I don't know if you can see them. As soon as I get like a whole head of gray, I'm going for it. It's like that goddamn like George Carlin bit like that he did in the last show before he died, where he talks about the benefits of being old. I want to take advantage of being old. I'm so into that. Like as soon as I can maybe pass as an old person, it's over. It's over. I'm going to be wearing the biggest, fattest diapers, right? I'm going to be wearing dump truck diapers. I'm going to walk around like just for fun, just to see what happens. I'm going to like, you know, do that thing that fucking Walter White does in Breaking Bad where he goes to the store naked just to fucking just get a rise out of people. I'm old, bro. I'm just doing it. I don't know where I even am. I'm old. You can't fucking throw me in jail. I'm an old motherfucker. I've got no idea what's going on. Right? I can't wait. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be the best thing in the world, man. Fuck. Oh. I'm going to take my socks off. Again, S tier. This is S tier content. No one else has this at their disposal. Everyone else is like, here's why we need Medicare for all now. And, you know, like, yeah, okay, we get it. Medicare for all now. Okay, next. Can you give me something interesting? This is why, like, you know, like, all, you know, then there's this whole class of, like, podcasters that just, like, say the same thing over and over. It's like, yeah, we, you know, Medicare for all, and, you know, this is why we need universal public transit. That stuff's never gonna fucking happen. Like, yes, we need it. It's never gonna fucking happen. This country fucking sucks. Like, can we move on? Can you teach me about fucking fiber? I'm old, should I be offended? No, Environmental Coffee House. Like, whenever there's the Above It All, like, IRL event, right? Environmental Coffee House, you gotta do what I'm saying. You gotta, like, take one for the team, right? So, like, Above It All live, like, IRL, right? We're gonna be, like, roaming around a city, going into every grocery store, and then you're just gonna, like, walk around and be old, and then, like, you know, we'll record it, see people's reactions. It's gonna be great. Just troll the fuck out of the whole world. Hassan talks about working out. Working out is fucking cringe. Working out's fucking cringe. Does Hassan Piker eat meat? Oh, I'm working out. Look at me. I'm eating meat. No. Now, if vegan workout stuff, I'm into that. I'm into the vegan workout stuff. I just think that's interesting. But non-vegan workout stuff, I mean, you're cheating. Right? It's like it's like wearing fur, you know? It's like you're killing something for your own do it the right way. I had an anxiety dream that I missed a plane because of getting confused with time zones, and I thought of your time zone abolitionism. That's right. That's right. What other fucking show talks about time zone abolitionism? That's right. There you go. See, I'm breaking barriers here. Breaking the goddamn glass fucking ceiling or whatever. So, I teased this in the intro, but here we go. Let's brace for impact. Get your seatbelt on. Curious journalist Andy No asks Professor Emeritus Jordan Peterson how psychology can explain why Antifa is so evil and bad. Jordan B. Peterson says it's revenge against God for the crime of being. Then he starts crying. So everyone, I present to you the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I wanted to ask you about based on your knowledge, your background, your clinical experience, what is the psychology of this mob violence? When I see it, I don't even recognize some of these. They seem animalistic, is what I mean.
They're worse than animals. They're worse than animals because animals, they just kill to eat, you know. Human beings, they have a twist in them that makes them far worse than animals when they really get going. Well, I think you really want to know what I think? I think it's revenge against God for the crime of being. That's really what I think. It's Cain and Abel. It's like, oh, Abel's your guy, eh? God, how about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things.
And then he just breaks down. It's over. Now, to me, I don't know about you, but this is what I think of when I hear this.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
I don't know. The idea that, first of all, okay, there's a lot to take in here. So first of all, Antifa, mob violence. What? Would it, like, first of all, like, Antifa's not the only, like, kind of, like, person that would engage in mob violence. Now, also, it needs to be understood, 99.999999% of the time, now again, we're talking about Andy No here. We're talking about Adam Waffen, neo-Nazi photographer Andy No. We're talking about providing kill lists of anti-fascist activists to neo-Nazi groups, Andy No, right? So 99% of the time you see Antifa, mob violence, it's highly edited, it's staged, it's self-defensive. It's when right-wingers come in and start beating the shit out of people and people respond, right? That's what Andy No does. Now again, I have done this. I have been involved in protests and have had Andy No take my footage that I recorded and pretend that the complete opposite of what was going on, right? Situations where people on the right try to instigate and harass people, and then someone on the left responds, calling them a name, screaming at them, and, just cuts out the part with the start, and then only plays the part where the, left-wing protesters, like, yelling at someone for trying to instigate a fight, and then saying, look, Antifa, the mob, the mob, the mob. So this is almost always, I would even go as far as to say it's probably 100% of the time, let's be honest, right? It's probably 100% of the time, but for the sake of fairness, I'm going to say it's 99.9% of the time that Andy Ngo will lie and just take things out of context, right? And just like misrepresent and contort things to the point where they're just not even remotely true. And then again, the idea that, right, the mob, they're animalistic. I don't even view them as human. You know who I don't view as human? People that provide kill lists of other human beings to neo-Nazi organizations. Go fuck yourself, bitch. All right, so that's Andy Ngo already. All right, boom. So now let's get into this guy, Jordan Peterson. I'm going to play this again because this is wow. I mean, this is really, okay.
You really want to know what I think? I think it's revenge against God for the crime of being.
Andy Ngo doesn't know what to say. What? Like, it's revenge against God for the crime of being.
It's really what I think.
Now, I wish they would have kept the camera on Andy because I would have loved to have seen his face throughout the rest of this. That said, I do appreciate the solo focus on the crying. So.
Cain and Abel. It's like, Abel's your guy, eh? God, how about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things.
It's bizarre. I mean, this is certainly bizarre shit. This is some really strange stuff. Okay, so Antifa is like Cain and Abel beating the shit out of God. What? I'm like, what? Like, okay, does this imply that, like, right-wingers at protests are God, and when Antifa is beating the shit out of a right-winger, right, again, because the right-winger started a fight, right, and they're responding and defending someone, right, so that is, like, beating God, like, with Cain, or, I don't even know what Cain and Abel are. Are those, like, the fucking grandchildren of God or some shit? I don't know. This guy is Looney Tunes. Like, I don't understand why anyone would listen to a religious person about anything. I mean, like, religious people really are fundamentally, like, they've got some sort of broken mechanism in their brain. They're just fucking weird. Like, again, why do religious people feel the need, right, to, like, bring about, like we're talking about Antifa and how they're, like, animals or whatever, and then this motherfucker's starting to talk about Cain and Abel. Like, what the fuck? Like, what does that have to do with, like, I don't understand, like, we're talking about psychology. We're not talking about religion. This guy's confusing psychology and religion. Like, Andy Ngo is talking about the psychology of anti-fascists and mob violence or whatever. Now, again, he's lying. He's a fucking scumbag psychopath, right? But again, like, this, I thought this guy was a psychologist, not, so you can't answer a psychology question without bringing in Cain and Abel? Like, what the fuck? I want to play it again because, like, again, this is, like, really, I mean, this is fascinating stuff.
Crime of being. That's really what I think. It's Cain and Abel. It's like, Abel's your guy, eh? God, how about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah, it's like,
I can't with this part.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to zoom in slightly so it's a little easier. So, I want you to look at his, like, upper lip twitch. Look at this. Look at his upper lip, like, pucker. Look at this.
Unrewarded. Yeah. It's like...
I can't! Like, I can't. Let's just do it.
Rewarded. Yeah. It's like... Yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things.
And then it's over. Like, he broke down. It's done. Anyway, again, these motherfuckers are scumbags. Don't listen to anything they say. Like, I don't need to waste my time with any sort of debunkery. But my God. Yeah. You know, Antifa is basically, like, destroying Cain and Abel in front of God and rewarding, unrewarding. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Wow. I mean, okay. That's crazy.
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
Hopefully everyone's enjoying the first hour of the show. That's right, because now we are in the second hour. We're in the second hour. Yeah! Woo! That's right, y'all. We are in the second hour of the program. Well, at least, I don't know if I'm going to do a whole nother hour, but we're past the first hour. Yeah! I don't know what to tell you. I mean, this is great. This is great. Here we are. We got a family of users in the chat. In the chat room, a family of users. So, I don't like to make fun of people's mental illness and drug addiction, but Peterson really shouldn't be doing interviews. Now, as the world's most hilarious and thoughtful and amazing drug addict, I have to say I have no care in the world if someone makes fun of Jordan Peterson's drug addiction. This guy literally wrote books about, self-help, right? And it was talking about how, you gotta do this and that to be perfect and, all this and that. And then he, fucking got fucked up on drugs. I mean, I'm just saying, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. I don't know. Yeah, drugs are a problem when people get too addicted to them. That's true. I'm very well aware of how that functions. I also don't care. I don't value Jordan Peterson at all. I don't so to me, making fun of his drug addiction, I don't give a shit. Some people think that that's too far. I don't. I think that that's not far enough, in my opinion. I don't know. Choose better drugs as well. Who the fuck gets addicted to benzos? Get a better drug. I don't know. Sitting chair commercial. A sitting chair commercial. Yeah, I don't know. I see. Again, if I were to say I'm making fun of Jordan Peterson's drug addiction, I'm not making fun of drug addiction, right? I think Jordan Peterson is an enemy of humanity, and therefore, to me, if someone is an enemy of humanity, I don't care. I don't care about anything they have to say. I don't care about their personal problems, and I think that their struggles are hilarious, and I hope that they suffer. I hope that their life quality is bad, because what they put out into the world is they want other people to be as depressed, to be as sad as they are, and I say fuck that shit. If you are a net negative on humanity, as far as I'm concerned, it's open season. That's my opinion. And I say that as a drug addict. I love drugs. I do drugs every day. That said, I don't recommend them to anybody because it's against the rules. But I'm just saying, so it's not like I'm trying to act like I'm superior, but I am. So anyway, so we're going to move on to another portion of programming. We've got some more programming here, and we've got some programming. And we've got it here. We've got some programming. I'm programming the program. So okay. There's a lot going on. A lot going on. All right, I saw this earlier, so I'm gonna cover it just because it's filler content. How many programs do you program? I don't know. But anyway, so I saw, a lot of people have had some very, very cringe takes in regards to this like Oscar skit. Now, personally, again, I don't care about award shows. I don't give a shit. I don't care about celebrities. I don't care about celebrities hitting each other. To me, I don't give a shit. That's my opinion. But there have been a lot of like really like bad takes about this that I just cringe at from people that don't always have bad takes, but and a lot of people that generally have good takes are just like really cringing out about this. Now, it needs to be understood that, of course, I'm talking about the Will Smith, Chris Rock incident. Now, both of them are fine. Both of them said it's all good. So I don't know why anyone's still complaining or whining or crying about it. But I saw this clip, and this clip really was like one of the worst. So this is Howard Stern comparing Will Smith to Donald Trump. I mean, it's really cringy. And so let's watch. Let's watch. Let's see. Let me raise the volume here. Oh.
In hand with a lot of force smacks him right in the mouth on TV. Now, the first thing I said to myself is, what the fuck is going on? Is this a bit? Because where's security? This is a live television event. Not one person came out. Because he's Will Smith. This is how Trump gets away with shit. Will Smith and Trump are the same guy.
What? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I cannot imagine comparing Will Smith to Donald Trump. Like, I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know why this has, like, blown up people's minds and their brains. Like, somehow, like two friends, like, getting upset with each other and it being on live television is, like, the worst thing in the world. There are people saying that this is, like, worse than Putin invading Ukraine. Like, liberals are fucking crazy, man. I really... Like, so, and again, I don't care about this. I've tried my best to avoid this, right? But, whatever. Like, I did all the important stories for the day, so we're just doing popcorn here.
He decided he's going to take matters into his own hands, at a time when the world is at war. It's bad timing, man. I mean, just, calm your fuck.
Like, Howard Stern, again... He's not the most intelligent motherfucker in the world. Let's be honest. Let's be real. But he does every once in a while have some decent takes, right? But like this one is like, okay, so Will Smith is literally Trump and the world is at war. And how dare you? Like, you're right. The world is at war. So who gives a fuck what two friends do when they get mad at each other? I don't care.
Ass down.
It shows where we are as human beings. Like, you can't even say something in a room without a war breaking out.
A war breaking. So now they're comparing the war, right? Russia's invasion, mass murdering of civilians in Ukraine, to two friends getting upset because one friend made a bad joke about their other one's wife, and so they just slapped him once. Like, again, like, I don't know, man. Like, this is like some real peak ivory tower bullshit. This is like you've never, ever, ever seen or spoken to a normal person in your life ever, right? I don't know, man. When people, like, will insult another person's, like, family member or, like, their spouse or their kid or whatever, I don't know. Where I'm from, talk shit, get hit. That's what I'm, like, I've seen people in my family hit each other over insult. Like, I don't know. The idea that this is, but it's on television. I don't care. Who fucking gives a shit, man? These people, but there's more.
Yeah. So he gets up and smacks Will Smith smacks Chris Rock. And Chris Rock, Jesus, the guy's so fast comedy-wise. He actually recovered and made a joke and said, gee, best Oscars yet. He was able to comment outside of what just happened to him. And then he got flustered. If you've seen the uncensored stuff, and he basically couldn't even get out.
He couldn't even... Oh, he was so flustered.
Here's the best documentary. He said, now let's give a documentary for the Academy Award. He was flustered.
Yeah,
he was obviously his head He got fucked over. Now,
again, I just want to be very clear. Like, both of them said that it's no big deal. Like, anyone who's like still crying about this, man, I really like it is embarrassing to watch. But anyway, yeah, liberals have had like a really bad take on this. It's okay. So Will Smith is Donald Trump. They're the same person. War in Ukraine and Will Smith slapping his friend on stage is basically the same thing. And then you have like the people that are like, all comedians everywhere will be under attack because of this. Like, it is fascinating. It is really fascinating, people's overreaction to this. Like, yes, hitting someone, probably you shouldn't do it. But like, also at the same time, you know what you probably shouldn't do? Try to embarrass someone's family member on live television in front of like a widely streamed, and also at the end of the day, they're both celebrities. I don't give a shit about either of them. I don't care about either of them. I don't know, man. Like, people like this was like, I tried my best to avoid this discourse, but really I've seen such painful, like, it causes me physical pain to see people overreact to such a significant degree. Like, and again, like the Oscar award ceremony, like there's a lot of people posting a lot of stuff that I didn't know about. But apparently this is not the first incident of violence at these Oscar award ceremonies. This is not the first incident, like, that almost led to violence or was even more violent or more offensive. Again, the Oscar award ceremony started by rich people as a way to fight against, low income people in regards to, like, basically trying to control a new media of film. They were trying to, like, find a way to control, like, how the cultural impact of film would go, basically trying to cut people out of the process unless they were part of the Academy. Oh, yes, we're the Academy. So, and it, of course, founded on racism, has been racist for a very long time. And so, and still, the Oscars still very problematic. But also, again, I can't possibly imagine giving a fuck about this. I can't care. No part of me could possibly imagine caring about this. That said, the liberal meltdowns that I've seen, oh my God. Like, the liberal meltdowns that I've seen are more akin to the war in Ukraine than this could ever dream of being. Like, if Will Smith ran up there and, like, tackled him and, like, started punching him, and like, that's one thing. But he went up there, slapped him one time, and then turned around. Like, it was like a symbolic, like, it wasn't that hard. It was very symbolic, right? It was just like, don't talk about my wife. That's simple. It was not like, he didn't get the shit beat out of him. It was a slap, right? First of all, what kind of, like, usually grown men don't slap another person. They might punch someone, right? So it's like, this is like the most inoffensive form of physical interaction that I've seen that would possibly be declared like a fight of some kind. Like, I don't know, fights where I'm from involve two sides beating the shit out of each other, punching someone's face. They involve blood. They involved in, like, cracked teeth. That, like, I don't know. I've never seen a fight where someone walks up to someone, slaps them one time, and then walks away. That's not a fight. That's not assault. That's not abuse. They're friends. I don't know. They said that they're both fine. People really need to settle down with this. But again, like, at the same time, like, wow, I can't get over it, man. I really don't care at all about this stuff, but somehow people make me care by posting cringe. Like, somehow they can do it. Somehow. I can get triggered enough to respond to this. But anyway, there you go. Oh. So cringe. All right, y'all. It's happening. It's happening. That's right. We're the Venus Squad at. All my Venus fans, sending out a ping, an alert to the Venus fans. Venus fans, where are we? A NASA scientist has an absolutely bonkers plan to build cloud cities on Venus. One of the most hellish planets in the solar system could be made habitable for humans for one hell of a price tag. First of all, the idea of money, like, is it, this is all theoretical, right? So it's like, whatever. But anyway, With its runaway climate change and roiling toxic atmosphere, Venus would be a pretty unpleasant place for humans to inhabit in its current state. Its atmosphere is dense with poisonous carbon dioxide and nitrogen, and howling with 200 mph winds. Its surface is a furnace with an average temperature of 864 degrees Fahrenheit. But the second planet from the sun, nicknamed the Evening Star due to its bright appearance in Earth's own sky, is roughly the same size as Earth and may have once had a climate like our own planets. It's a world that's worth exploring and maybe even living on, if only we could breathe there. Never fear, NASA has a plan. Well, a loose sketch of a plan. The idea proposed by Alex Howe, an astrophysicist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland, is to construct vast porous structures, rafts in essence, that become they're less dense rafts in essence that because they're less dense than the air underneath would float above the most toxic layers of Venus's atmosphere. A preprint of Howe's study, which has not been peer reviewed yet, appeared online on March 15th. So first of all, I love this kind of shit. I'm very much so into the theoretical, what we could do on other planets kind of stuff that's rooted in actual science. Like, it's theoretically possible, but the only thing that, that needs to happen is willpower and financing. Super into it. Also, super into Venus. There's been a big, Venus resurgence that I feel like that's been happening in the media for the last couple of years. And so that's cool. That's super interesting. Howe's scheme is ambitious and costly to the point of absurdity. Even if it was greenlighted and funded, it might take 200 years from start to finish, but technically speaking, it's very much a possibility. Janice Petkowski, an astrobiologist and expert on Venus at MIT, told the Daily Beast, the connected rafts made up of hollow linked sections the size of city blocks and together forming a flexible surface would have to cover the entire planet. Powerful machines could begin to alter the air above into a mix that's breathable by people. Changing the hotter, more noxious, and windier air below the rafts would be a longer-term project. So you go there, you start off, right? You get the cloud cities. All right. Then, once you're there, you're established. Then you work on detoxifying the ground. And you move down over time, and eventually you're on the surface of Venus. And it's basically like Earth 2. I'm in. Sign me up. I'm going to Venus. My life goal, live long enough to go to Venus. But the main justification for building these cloud cities on Venus isn't for the near-term science. If it was, remote and robotic probes would make much more sense. Dirk Schultz-Mach, an astrobiologist at the Technical University Berlin, told the Daily Beast. No, the main rationale is emotional. The interest lies primarily in the spirit of exploration, Howe told the Daily Beast. The moon and Mars are likelier candidates to host humanity's first permanent off-world colonies. I disagree. No. I disagree. Fuck Mars. Moon, okay. I'm down with having a colony on the moon. No. I would rather go to Venus than Mars. I'm just saying, fuck Mars. Fuck Mars. What are we going to go to Mars for? There's nothing there. There's nothing there in Mars, motherfucker. It's an empty fucking wasteland. Fuck Mars. Howe emphasized Venus's near-Earth-like surface gravity and atmosphere thick enough to provide robust protection from cosmic rays and UV radiation compared with Mars and shorter travel time from Earth. Moon? Yes, I'm down. Venus second? I'm good. Mars, a distant third. Honestly, I'd rather go to Titan than go to Mars. Mars is maybe top 5. I'd rather go to Deimos or Phobos than go to fucking Mars. Fuck Mars. Howe's cloud cities could start with robotic probes carrying solar-powered machines. I love machines. To Venus, the highly autonomous machines would suck in carbon dioxide and spit out oxygen and carbon. We'd store the oxygen for future use while using the carbon to build 300-foot wide hollow tiles with enough empty space inside to make them very light. Indeed, light enough to float. The great thing about mining carbon from Venus's unbreathable atmosphere is that taking out all the carbon begins to change the chemical makeup of the air. It eventually becomes a mix of oxygen and nitrogen that people can breathe, starting with the lighter upper layer. I'm in! So you can read the rest of this if you'd like. But I just wanted to share Venus, cloud cities, I'm in, artist illustration, Look at that. Let's do it. There's no reason why we don't do this. This would be super cool. I'm into it. And I am also into the, like, you know, the big Venus culture going on. I don't know. Maybe I am more into Venus, and therefore I am seeing more Venus stuff because I'm more into Venus. But I feel like I'm seeing people talk about Venus in more areas that I wasn't seeing prior. And I think that's super interesting. And I'm a Venus fan. Venus fans, where are we? I'm going to Venus. My goal, live long enough to go to Venus. Hey, they said 200 years. I can make it. I can hold the fuck on. So, we're going to Venus, y'all. Fun $4.99 super chat. Keep up the great work. Love you, Andrea. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Yes, the surface is Keith S. This is why we're talking about cloud cities. Like a hair in my mouth. All right. All right, y'all. Hopefully, y'all are enjoying the program. I got one more segment lined up for y'all. So one more. And it's a doozy. It's most certainly a doozy. How's a city going to be built on the cloud? I just read the article. They got the floaters, and because of the intense winds, they float. Come on. Come on. Oh, I got a knot in my fucking hair. Check this out. That's crazy. Oh. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. Where the fuck is my goddamn weed? I need to get high for this. All right. Got a movie review coming up, y'all. But it's a little bit more than a movie review. So, last weekend, well, needless to say, I engaged. This is usually what happens on my weekends. I engaged in the use of certain fungal material that may or may not cause certain reactions in the brain, and I put on a movie to watch, and that movie was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. So I got really fucked up on drugs, and I watched this movie. I've never seen it before. Many people have recommended this film to me, and it's been on my list, but you know, I've got a list of movies to watch and a list of movies to watch while I'm on drugs, and you know, I don't do drugs as much as I watch movies without drugs. So, you know, I'm working through that list. Oh my God. I got to tell you. Okay, so first of all, I don't know, like I say with every time I watch a movie while I'm on mushrooms, I don't know if it was the movie. I don't know what I watched. I don't know if it was like, you know, the drug in my brain. But wow. This is, I mean, again, 10 out of 10. I don't usually rank movies. I don't usually rank movies. I don't like the idea of ranking. This movie, either I don't know about watching it sober. I can't tell you that. I'm not reviewing watching this movie sober. But while you're on mushrooms, this movie is a perfect movie. 10 out of 10. It was amazing. Every like single second of this movie was fucking flawless, right? Like the narration, flawless, right? It's just like the idea of like the movie like taking place like in the guy's head, right? Like it's great because that's how I like when I'm on drugs, like I have the runaway like inner monologue, and like that's what this movie was really freaking me out with. And then there's like the scene. My favorite part of this movie was the scene transitions, where it's like, and this happens to me when I'm tripping as well, is like, I'll just blink and all of a sudden I'm in like a different room. Like all of a sudden I'm in like a different like area. Oh, now I'm in the woods. How did I get here? I have no idea. I don't remember. I'm experiencing some very short-term and long-term memory loss for that matter. And so, but that's what my favorite part of this movie is like every scene is like, I'm mesmerized by every scene. There, like, I have no idea what the fuck the story is for half of this movie, and then I kind of realize what the story is about halfway through. You know, and it's like then the scene just changes, and then they wake up. My favorite part, I think, is going to be at the end when he's like listening to the tapes of like the previous areas, and then has like flashbacks, and then has like other flashbacks that are related to the flashbacks, and that it is great because that like I have that experience all the time where I'm like, where I'm thinking about something, and then thinking about that thing makes me think about something else, and then the movie like seamlessly goes throughout all the periods of time. One of the things I like about this movie is the non-linear storytelling. Like, you don't know when the scenes take place, you don't know why or how or when or what, and it's just great. It's just amazing. Oh my God. And the camera, we got to talk about the camera. The way the camera moves, again, I watched this movie on mushrooms. I was losing it. I was losing it, like, just in general. And so the camera was making me dizzy. The camera was making me nauseous, but in the good way. I mean, I can't, like, I really cannot, I'm trying to think of, like, any possible flaw in this movie or anything that they could have done better, and I can't. The movie was perfect. It was perfect, right? The acting was amazing, like, so over the top, so incredible. The effects, incredible. I mean, it's just wow. I mean, like, I know it's, like, it's hard to describe how good this movie is. Another favorite scene of mine was when they're on like the what is that thing called? The fucking carousel or whatever. Like they're at the bar that's like spinning, and then the horses are spinning, and then there's more in the background spinning, and then the camera's spinning, and it's like I was freaking the fuck out. So I had to pause this movie several times to get my bearings straight. And so like, you know, again, I'm on drugs. So like when I pause the movie to like use the bathroom or get something from the refrigerator, you know, I can't get over the camera style of the movie. So I'm really dizzy. I'm trying to like find the bathroom. I'm trying to get into the kitchen. I'm really dizzy, you know, and it's like, you know, that was really sticking with me. But anyway, I mean, I don't know, man. I have never seen this movie before. And so I watched it the first time while on mushrooms. Now, again, I don't know if I'm reviewing the movie or if I'm reviewing the mushrooms. I'm not sure. But again, it was like, I cannot describe the last time I watched a movie that I was like immediately so into like this one. It was perfect. The political, you know, like commentary was also really good. The like kind of like the description of how psychedelic drugs work was really good. And just like the comedy of it, I could not stop laughing. There was this one part fucking where like this, like they're at the fucking drug convention with all the cops or whatever, and the cop is yelling at the fucking person at the hotel desk, the reception desk. And like, that movie, like that part, like it felt like it was lasting for like 10 years, like, you know, cause like time dilation and shit. So I was like forgetting what movie I was watching, and then this guy was like yelling at the fucking poor dude on the reception desk, this fucking crazy cop, that scene, and then like the camera was like twisting, and like the colors were like fucking like turning blue, and I couldn't handle it. I forgot what fucking movie I was watching. I forgot where I was like freaking the fuck out. And then of course, you know, Johnny Depp comes on the screen. I'm like, all right, I'm watching this. Right, and it was great. I mean, like, again, there's all these, like, scenes that last way too long that are extremely uncomfortable, and that's my kind of shit. I love that kind of shit, right? The things that, like, make you purposefully uncomfortable is so good. It's so good. I mean, again, this movie is amazing. I can't... Like, the part where he goes to the fucking, like, race or whatever, but he had, like, the television on before with, like, some war movie on, so he convinced himself that, like, the photojournalist was, like, some, like, guy from, like, Vietnam or something, and then, like, when he went there, like, there was, like, guns blare. It was, oh my God, that was hilarious. I could not stop laughing this entire movie. I cannot describe how good this movie is. If you've never seen it, even if you're not into drugs, like, watch the movie because it's great. But if you are into drugs and you haven't seen this movie, I recommend it. Like, I can't recommend it enough. I don't know how I haven't watched this movie up until this point, but I'm definitely thinking about getting the book and reading the book and possibly reading Hunter S. Thompson's other books because I'm very, very, very impressed with this piece of work here. I mean, again, I can't even, like, I just can't even describe just, like, it's just every part, like, again, this is like a 2-hour movie, I think, right? So, like, when you're tripping, 2 hours in the real world is like, you know, that's like 15 years in the experience, right? And so I like this movie really, it felt like I had lived multiple lifetimes while this movie was on. Again, especially because I was taking breaks to use the bathroom and stuff. And you know, and like sometimes like I would get lost, like going from the bathroom to the kitchen to the room that I was watching the movie in. And so, and wow, I mean, it's just wow. I mean, I can't. This is an incredible movie. It's a must watch. It's a 10 out of 10. It's a perfect film. It might be one of the best movies ever made. I really I can't praise it enough. It's incredible. Like if someone were to ask me what my favorite movie is, I might still say the Muppet movie, but this might be number 2. I mean, it really is. It's a tremendous piece of art. I can't, it's just amazing. It's just, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. It's just, I know I'm repeating myself, but it's a must watch. There you go. But yeah, that was a very enjoyable mushroom experience overall, for sure. But watching the movie, that was crazy. Anyway, that was the last segment I had. Fun P, you might enjoy Cheech and Chong the next movie. I've got a couple Chong movies on my list that people have recommended. I don't think I've seen many. I might have seen one, I think. You ever seen Dog Day Afternoon with Al Pacino? I have not. It's a heist movie based on a true story. I like Al Pacino, so maybe I'll go check that out. Review No Country for Old Men. I've seen that movie before, many years ago. So I wouldn't mind giving that a rewatch. And if I do, I'll let you know what I think. Gonna watch that later today. I can't recommend it enough. I really can't. It's a perfect movie. And again, I don't know if I'm reviewing the mushroom experience or if I'm reviewing the movie. Dread's on the list. But either way, I can't possibly sit here and tell you that the movie isn't perfect. I mean, it's a perfect movie. There's very other, if not, like, I can't even think of another movie that I would describe as perfect other than the Muppet movie. The Muppet movie is another example of a perfect movie with no flaws. But wow. It's really incredible. But anyway, yeah, that's the program. So hopefully everyone enjoyed the show. I'm trying to make my shows good. I don't know if anyone's noticed that. I'm not sure. But I've been attempting to make the shows good as opposed to bad. Because I feel like, sometimes my shows are bad. But, or bad or maybe just mediocre, right? Because for me, like, bad for me is like, the best show ever for most other people, right? So, like, I'm way in the S, and then, like, like in rainbows, like the gradient rainbows that are constantly changing. So they like, they're, tier, like with the fucking, like, blinking background. I'm in the S, like, so for me, like a bad show is like A+ tier on the objective scale because I'm just that good at doing shows. That said, here's the show. Fun P 199. Thanks. Yeah, so, that's, I don't know, that's pretty much it. If anyone wants to, if anyone wants to fund these efforts also without super chats. You can give me money on PayPal, Cash App, or Patreon. I would appreciate that. End of the month is coming, so gotta pay bills, you know? Ugh. You know, am I right? Am I right, people? Capitalism, not so good. What's with these bills? Huh? Am I right, people? Hey now. All right. That's right. Anyway, if you want to give me money, that'd be cool. Yeah. I mean, that pretty much sums it up. That pretty much sums it up. It sums it up. Gotta buy beans. Yeah, that's right, Rielon. That's right. Anyway, enjoy the introductory experience. I will see y'all tomorrow. Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the Doom Top 10 Speedruns of the Month. Tune in for that. Also, more coming as well, other than the Above It All program and the Doom programs. There's going to be more programs coming in. We're going to be widening the programming here at Above It All Industries Incorporated Studios. Anyway, that's it.
It's like, oh, Abel's your guy, eh, God? How about if I take him out in the field and beat him to death? How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went unrewarded. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what it is at the bottom of the hell of things. It's like, oh, take him out in the field and beat him to death. How do you feel about that? All my sacrifices went, guy, eh, God? Guy, eh, God? God? God, eh, God?
Bad deal. Should have never been thought of.
I hate the white man. He's of the devil. He was made in a cave in the worst parts of Europe, produced from the lowest forms of humanity.
No good, really bad for you.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in...
Let's go, Brandon, I agree.
So today, on behalf of the United States, I want to thank every Olympian and Paralympian. And that was just incredible. And what happened with the Paralympics was so incredible and so inspiring to me. And I watched. It's a little tough to watch too much, but I watched as much as I could.
I went in yesterday and there was a television screen, and I said, this is genius.
Do not come. Do not come.
They're coming all over the place.
They felt pretty comfortable after day 2.